Hi! So as you can see, today's video is going to be all about water-resistant, waterproof inks. So I have 5 in total. One isn't pictured here, but I have them inked in my 5 platinum pens. I have the platinum Cassis black. It's there in their classic ink series. I have Chuo Kuro. I have Octopus Fluids Seahorse Brown. And I have KWZ in Iron Gall Violet. It's the number 3. I think they number all their inks. So in case anyone's wondering, it's Violet number 3. And then I have 3 notebooks to test everything on. So let's get started. Okay, first up we have Octopus Fluids Write and Draw in Seahorse Brown. This is the packaging it comes in. It is nice and minimal, but I mean does the job of keeping it secure. This is like the big box, so it is 50 milliliters. I believe it comes in 15 milliliters as well. So that's a good way to try out an ink. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just got the 50 because I know I will go through this. So let's do a swatch with 8 earbud on Tomoe River paper. So when I first saw this, it reminded me of Hojicha latte. Even with the cotton bud swatch, it is quite darker, but it still reminds me of Hojicha latte. But when it dries down, it is especially lighter and just really reminds me of Hojicha. I'm gonna leave it right there. And let me close this before I spill it. I have it inked in my Plaisir. I would suggest that the platinum pens are the best pens for either pigmented or iron gall inks because they have this slip and seal mechanism, which helps with keeping the ink wet in the pen for longer periods of times. Even Octopus Fluids, they say that you shouldn't let the ink dry in the pen for sure because it'll be very hard to clean, but also you should clean out your pens regularly. Whenever brands or the pen shops say clean out your pens regularly, I don't know what regularly means. I'm guessing it's going to be every 3 weeks maybe, or maybe every 2 weeks if you let the pen dry out. But that's just my guess. You can let me know what you think. So this is Octopus Fluids Platinum Plaisir in fine nib. I would say the flow is nice and wet. I wouldn't say the Plaisir is a particularly wet writing pen. It is not a dry pen either, but it's writing really wet and lubricated with this ink. So I would say this ink has a nice wet lubricated flow. So it can go in any pen. It could go in a dry pen, no problem, as long as the pen has a good sealing mechanism, or you're going to wash it very soon, or you're going to use it every day, because then there won't be a problem of it clogging the nib or the feed. Now this is a pigmented ink. So if you want a waterproof, water-resistant ink, they usually fall in 2 categories. It is a pigmented ink or an iron gall ink, and this one falls in the pigmented ink category. Both are harsh on your pens. For sure, you need a bit more cleaning expertise with a specified water-resistant, waterproof ink. Now, I have tested this because I have had this combination for about a month now, and it's a good combination. It's not drying at all. I wouldn't even say that was a hard start when I started writing with the pen. It's just that with the Plaisir, it starts writing fast. So it's not the ink's fault for sure. And this ink is definitely waterproof, water resistant, depends on how you want to call it. Because I did dump water onto the page and it didn't run off. Where did I dump the water? Ooh, that red metallic. Okay. That is not the point of the video. I cannot find where I dumped it, but anyway, here's a writing sample on Muji in case you're wondering. So I guess I'll just drop some water on here and see how water resistant it is. This was done, I think, before the 19th. Let me find if I've written down the date. I have not. So it was definitely before the 19th. So it's been at least 2 weeks. Let me put some water and let's see how well it dries in 2 weeks. And even right now. So let's go. Okay, this is a terrible way to do this, but I'm sure it will get the point across. Here's water. Here's water. Let's see. And then it's not running even when the water drops onto the page. So let's see how it does when you try to dry the water from the page. So it's definitely not lifting off. There is some hint of color coming. Yeah, even when you swipe it over, yeah, this is very waterproof. I would say this is just in the waterproof territory, not even water resistant. It's properly waterproof. So if you have anything that you want to archive, this ink is definitely a good choice for sure. Now I have to get the page to dry. And the Tomoe River and the Muji works well against water. Like it holds up. So if you want a page suggestion, then the Muji and this Tomoe River does well. Okay. That was Octopus Fluid doing its job, working well. For a waterproof ink, I would say 10 out of 10. The cleaning isn't too bad either, but I would definitely suggest using it with a pen that doesn't dry out. I haven't done an experiment with a pen that does dry out, and I don't particularly want to, because Octopus Fluid does sell a cleaning liquid with their ink collection. So clearly, if you do have a problem where it clogs up your pen, that is a option if you need it. But prevention is better than cure, so I would always suggest to go with the pen that seals really well and you use it throughout. Don't let this ink sit in your pen for more than a week. And a week is being generous too. I would suggest don't let it sit in your pen for even 5 days. I'm going to try an experiment with this combination. I'm going to let it sit for a week without using, and I'll come back and give a review of how it does. Okay, moving on to the next ink. I have already done Chuo Kuro, so I don't want to do it again. But here it is. Here's Chuo Kuro. It works really well. It is also in the territory of waterproof. Like here is water, a little too much. Yeah. It does run a little, so I would say this is more in the water resistant. It isn't a 10 out of 10 as the Octopus Fluid was, but I think that's the nature of the ink color. Since this is such a dark black, it has a tendency to run. Let me go find let me find a proper hand towel and I'll be back. I would also suggest, if the water does fall on the page, to let the water dry naturally instead of wiping it. Because once you start wiping it, there is a chance that it can destroy the paper a little bit. Like this time with a lot of water, the paper is kind of fragile. So definitely let the paper dry. And then just like dab any cloth or tissue paper or whatever, just dab it and soak up the water that way. Okay, let's move on to the next platinum ink that we have in our lineup, and that is their classic black line. And this, or the classic ink. The one I have is Cassis black. There are 5 colors, I believe. There is Cassis black, there is lavender black, there's citrus black, sepia black, and forest black. I really wanted lavender black, but it went out of stock, so I went with Cassis black in the platinum line, and then for a violet ink, the KWZ kind of scratched the itch for me. Also, these platinum bottles come with an ink well in the ink. If you can see that, that basically is the way you can use it is seal this cap well, okay, before doing this. So you basically just put it upside down. You can see the ink well right here, the plastic ink well, and then turn it back out, open it, and then you have a nice ink well filled up with the ink, basically. Okay. I hope I explained that well. I feel like I didn't, but I think I got the gist of it right. Okay. Nice and red. Bloody. It is not as deep when you first swatch it, but don't worry. Wait for it. Wait for just a couple seconds. You don't even have to wait for long. It does look like a little bit of a watery red. Like there's too much water in it, but again, wait for it. It turns a nice deep pink in a couple seconds, and after a while it will turn red black. So here we have platinum classic ink in Cassis black. I like the different gradation of colors, the way it dries. You can see multiple colors as you're writing it. I think it looks very cool. With platinum preppy in extra fine. So again, the reason all of these are in platinum is because of this slip and seal. And with the preppy, you can really see the slip and seal cap right here. Oh, let me do a little pen swatch. I would say it's a nice, well lubricated ink, medium flow. But maybe I'm saying, maybe it feels like a medium flow because I have it in extra fine. Maybe if it was in fine, I would have a nice wet flow. But definitely it's definitely not dry at all. It's a good ink. And here it is darkened out. I love this deeper mauve red pink. It looks super cool. Let me do very little. I don't want to disturb the page too much. And let me dab the page now. Yeah, it does lift off a little bit, but so I would say the platinum inks are more water resistant. They do run a bit, but they are very cool. Like you can see right here, this is so watered down red, but then it dries to a really nice deep pink red. Okay, now let's do the KWZ Violet number 3. Let's say the swatch on the bottle is a good indication of what the color will look like dried down. There's also a gummy berry in this, but again, I couldn't find the gummy berry. Here's what it looks like. There's no inkwell in this ink. It's just platinums. So it goes down so bright, which again is a little hard in iron gall inks, but I feel like the Platinum Classic line and even the KWZ has some really nice, pretty, bright colors in their iron gall line. Usually you just find the regular blue, black, or at most brown if you get lucky, but these two brands have some really nice ink. Especially KWZ, I've seen some nice variations in the same color, but also other colors. So there's violet, like I said, gummy berry. There was, I think, turquoise. I think turquoise is their most well-known. And I have it paired in the perfect pen. It's the well matching ink and pen combo. I love when that happens. So here we have KWZ Iron Gall Violet number 3. I think their numbers matter because I saw 3 other IG Violet and maybe there's some difference in each. Also, let me smell this ink because KWZ inks usually smell like vanilla, I think. And yeah, okay. It does have some hints of sweetness, I would say. I don't know if it smells exactly like vanilla, but there's definitely some sweet hints. Because yeah, this Platinum Cassis Black just smells like ink, but this, the KWZ ink smells really sweet. I don't know if it smells exactly like vanilla, but it's not too strong, doesn't give a headache, which I appreciate a lot because I get scent-triggered headaches very easily. It dries down fast. It has a nice, well-lubricated flow. That is very important to me. I hate when inks are super dry. With Platinum Preppy. This is in fine. Water resistant iron gall ink. Let it dry a bit and I will move on to Diamine Registrar's Blue Black. I have it inked in my Platinum 3776 with the 18 karat gold nib, so it's the vintage nib. I don't have the bottle. I tried to find it and I know exactly where it is. It's just under a lot of stuff and I don't want to go through all that. So I'm just going to drop the ink onto the page. There we go. This is the driest ink in my collection. And I think in general, because I have heard a lot of people say this ink is very dry. But it is beautiful. I love how professional it is and just how pretty it looks, which I know it's just a boring blue black, but it really does look really pretty. And it looks very professional, so you can definitely use this for work, especially since this is a water resistant ink, so your documents are safe, your notes are safe from water. This is a terrible swatch, but I guess that's what happens when you try to drop it onto the page from a converter. I also need to fill this up. It's kind of over almost. I think the next ink I'm going to fill up is the Octopus Fluids in Deer, because I do have that, but I have it in a sample size and I don't have it inked in any of my pens, which is why I didn't bring it forward. But maybe I'll do an updated video because I do have my eye on the Platinum Carbon Black. I've seen it on a pen swap website for a really good price, so I might get that. And when I get it, I'll do an updated video. Like, look how beautiful and just navy blue black it is. It's so pretty. Okay, let's see. Diamine Registrar's Blue with Platinum 3776 Calico in medium vintage. That is I specify it because I think it's a little important because I do have a medium celluloid platinum, but it's in the 14 karat nib and it writes slightly different than the 18. And it is important with an ink such as the Registrar's Blue Black because it's so dry. This is the driest ink, not just, but any ink in general. But it is drying slow, but also I dropped a lot of ink on the page. I would say it dries really fast if you're just writing. But look how beautifully navy blue black it is. I really love it. I want to do another video that is inks that are professional and look almost black but aren't black. They have a little extra hint of color. And this is definitely one of them. I have a couple like that. Okay, let it dry a little bit more. I'll show how All of these look on the Hobonichi, because I tried it out on the back page. And I also got the dry times for all of them. Because this is Tomoe River paper and every ink dries really slow on it. But here are all the dry times. So the Registrar's blue black looks really pretty, nice and navy blue. And it dries in 15 seconds. I would say maybe even faster if you have it in a smaller nib size. The Chuo Kuro dries in 15 to 20 seconds. Then the KWZ dries in 15 seconds. And the Cassis black dried in 18 seconds, even though it's in extra fine. Then the Octopus Fluids Seahorse dried in 10 seconds. So this is the fastest drying ink in the waterproof variety and also just in general. I think the Diamine Envy Deadly Sins also dried in 10 seconds, but if we're talking the waterproof variety, then this definitely wins. And then on Muji, if you want to find out, let's find out. Why not? Here is Cassis Black. It looks very cool. It almost looks mauve red, dusty pink, big dusty purple red. Here it is. And this was done on the 19th. So this is what it looks like after 2 weeks of time. It dries down really pretty dusty red black, I would say. Here are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Here's all 5 of them. And here's how the violet iron gall and Cassis black iron gall and blue black iron gall look in 2 weeks time, because they do darken up over time. I think they're quite stable since these are the modern iron gall varieties. But as you saw, the Cassis black has a lot of dimension between the writing time, the drying time, and after dried time, I would say. This is still slightly wet, but I could do the testing on here. And I mean, everyone probably wants to see how the ink... Oh no, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of running. I think this is the least, what would you say, least water resistant of all the iron gall inks. Let me dab it. So it does kind of feather, like you can tell that water fell on here. And when you dab the ink, it does come onto the paper, but it's still water resistant because I have had some inks that just run away, like they won't stay on the page. So I guess it does okay in that terms. Let me write down that it is... This is also a finicky ink, as is the Chuo Kuro. I would say the Chuo Kuro and Diamine's Registrar's Blue Black are the most finicky inks, because I tried to put this in the Muji fountain pen and it just did not work. It was a terrible writing experience. It was so dry, which, I mean, I guess if you prefer that, then it is your cup of tea, but it was not for me. Like, oh, here's Diamine Nutcracker, which is not a waterproofing. This is how it will just run off on the page. Or here's the Mont Blanc. Like, it really does fully run off. And in compared to that, these iron galls, I guess, are sort of water resistant. Oh, let me do a test on this. It's been a while since I did the writing sample, like 3 months or so. So let's see how it works. Yeah, Chuo Kuro is quite stable. The writing isn't running off. Let me dab it. Yeah, it stays on page. So Chuo Kuro will definitely work for sure. Chuo Kuro and either of... Oh, and the Octopus Fluid Brown Seahorse will do wonders. Oh, right here. What is this? Oh, this is a Mont Blanc Jane Austen ink. It just fully just ran off the page. So Oh yeah, here is the Diamond Blue Black with the Muji fountain pen. You can see how much it was skipping and just not writing. There was a lot of problem. There were a lot of problems with this combination. So finding a good combination for these two inks is very important. So for the Registrar's Blue Black, I definitely suggest a platinum pen. Any will do. Even the steel nib pens will do just fine. And for Chuo Kuro, I suggest the Preppy, or I'm going to try and switch it into this calico and see how well it works. I think it'll do well, especially since this did well and this has a very dry flow. Comparatively, Chuo Kuro is wet lubricated and has a really nice smooth flow. So I'm excited to switch these two. So yeah, this is a collection of my waterproofings. Actually, I do have platinum blue black in the cartridge, so if you get any of these expensive pens from Pilot, so these celluloids or just the other 3776s, so the regular versions too, they come with a blue black cartridge, which is part of the pigmented ink, not the iron gall, but the pigmented ink category. So when I am through with my pink Preppy, I'm going to ink it with that cartridge. And once I am done with the ink in this 3776, which is the Wizard's pencil, I will ink that up with my Octopus Fluids Deer. So there's two, and then if I do end up getting platinum carbon black, I will do a separate video with those three water resistant waterproof inks. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. I cannot get over how beautiful this swatch is and how beautiful this looks on the Tomoe River paper. Yeah. I'm really jazzed about this combination, and I've had these two combined for a while now, but I've mostly been writing with it on Muji or the Usari paper, but on this Tomoe River paper, it's just a beautiful combination. It is so deep navy blue. I really love it. Okay, I might just ink it once more and then switch these two. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.